Cool. We are recording. So I am so excited, you guys. Abby is the sweetest soul if you guys don't know her. She's been coaching since June of 2018, so about a year and a half, and she is within Beatnik, but under Julie Kemp and Live Free Dynasty. So she is amazing and has just been very successful in her time as a coach in just a year and a half, and is very transparent, open, honest, always shares her story. It's so fun to follow her. And like, I've known you since the beginning of you starting. It's just been so fun to watch her grow. She is a 1-star diamond coach. So she'll be hitting up NLC in February, which is so exciting. She's a success starter, which we know means she hit Success Club in her first 3 months, has never missed since then, and is also a Success Club 10 All-Star, which means she's hit for 12 months, Success Club 10 in a row, and she has also consecutively hit for every single month in her business, so for 14 months straight. So she rocks it. She knows what she's doing, and I wanted to have her come on and talk to you guys, and she's just going to be sharing a little bit about mindset. And with that, I will give it over to you, Abby.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I want to preface this with my dog has like severe anxiety. So if she's like whining or anything, she's having a problem. Very problematic day today. I am currently also finishing up 3-day refresh. So if you guys are drinking go-go juice right now, please take a sip for me, because I am like legit so sad that I can't have it. In these 3 days, I've been really sad about it. But before I started my talk tonight, which I'm super passionate about, I wanted to kind of give you a glimpse on what my life was like a year and a half ago. I was teaching kindergarten. It was my second year of teaching in a really prestigious district in North Texas. And I was so exhausted every single day. Every single morning that I would go to school, I was probably in tears, and I was probably listening to my favorite worship songs that were getting me through every single day. And you guys, like, I was in reading time, praying that I would just get through reading time. Like, that's how sad and low I was. And so I went through my first year of teaching, really anxious, going through a lot of that. And so you would find me in the Canes drive-through probably 3 to 4 times a week. And I gained probably like 15 pounds within my first year of teaching, while planning a wedding, while living by myself for the first time. And so my life just kind of seemed like, what the heck is going on right now? Like, I should be getting my wedding bod, but in return, like, that's not happening. Like, I am actually like not my fittest self on my wedding day. So Tyler and I got married in March, and I looked at him in the summer and I was like, I literally don't want to be like this wife. Like, you married me not to be this kind of wife, which meant in anxiety, having panic attacks, literally like 5 days a week, you guys. Like, I had never experienced a panic attack before until last year. And so I was in this fetal position consistently and all the time. And I was overweight, and I was stressed and anxious, and I was stalking every single coach there was at Summit. Like, that summer, I was like, something has to change, and I know that I don't want to be a teacher forever, so like, let's figure out plan B right now. So I was actually a part of Kate Schultes' sneak peek, Ashley Laughlin's sneak peek, if you guys know them. I was a part of like every top coach's sneak peek during Summit, because I was listening to all of their stories, and I was like, I want to be a part of this, but is this actually real life? And, you know, right before that, I had to do my teaching physical kind of like checkup to get my insurance deductible lowered. And the doctor, I was really struggling with like severe constipation, and like my insides were just screaming at me. And she was like, honey, like I was at the doctor's office and she looked at me and she said, can I tell you what this like prescription should be? And I was like, what? And this was the school clinic, like at the school. She was like, you need to get a new job. Like your job is sucking the life out of you and your body is now like inside out. Like you are not happy and your body is showing those signs. And I, after that doctor's appointment, I like got in my car and I cried and I bawled my eyes out because I never thought that I would be that person going to the doctor and then telling me that the only fix for my diagnosis was like not to be stressed and not to be anxious. So I said yes to coaching. And whenever I said yes, you guys, I said yes and I freaking went for it. Like I was looking at my coach, I was seeing what she was doing, and I implemented those things right then and there. So what I'm going to be talking to you about tonight is how to be the creative minority. And this call really spurred on after I finished the book Girl for the Job by Jess Connolly. If you guys are in a PD funk, I would totally recommend that because that book truly was just such a light for me. It really blended being a believer and being an entrepreneur and also trying to figure out what it looks like to build your own business. So it's kind of weighty, this topic, but I feel like it's what we need, especially right now in the fourth quarter of our business. So what does it look like to be successful in a world of salesy, scammy MLMs, right? We don't want to be that person because we had people talk to us being that person, and we have a different mission for our business. And so I'm going to be talking to you tonight about how to be that creative minority. During the book, I was underlining, highlighting all of these things that Jess Connolly was saying, but the one quote that really stuck out to me was, it's time to call it quits on arguing with God about our inadequacy and start relying on His capacity. And even just tonight, you guys, and today, our team is really pushing for Premiere. And I was folding laundry and I was like, you know what? Like, I am so thankful that our team is a 1-star team this year. Like, it's my year and a half in the business, and I'm so proud that I have girls that are chasing after their dreams. And our team is a 1-star team. Like, why should I not be grateful for that? And so it's all about quitting that inadequacy feeling and relying on God's capacity for our lives, because that truly is going to give us the confidence to be obedient and to also find that success in our business. So I know that people have probably asked you this multiple times before, but if you could be successful and accomplish literally anything in this business without failing, what would it be? Like, what would, like right now, thinking about Christmas, you know, for me being a first-time home owner, I'm like, oh gosh, Christmas is coming up. But like, what do you want your Christmas to be like this year? What do you want your New Year's to be like this year? If anything, like what kind of woman, what kind of wife, what kind of mom do you want to be in this business? It doesn't have to be finances or a rank. Think about the person that you want to become through this business and being successful through that. So I'm going to be chatting with you tonight about 3 things that we need to call it quits on right now in our business and in our minds so that we can be successful. The first thing is hypocrisy. The second thing is envy. And the third thing is slander. So let's call it quits on being a hypocrite. Being a hypocrite in Beachbody means we are showing up on Instagram, but we're not doing power hours. Being a hypocrite by being a coach is saying that we have a bomb challenge group, but we don't plug into our challenge group every single day and encourage the girls in it. We need to call it quits on how we are behind the scenes and how we are on our social media, and call it quits on who we are behind the scenes and who we are on social media. We need to merge those two together. And if you know anything about the Enneagram, I am a 3 on the Enneagram, so I can definitely struggle with that imposter syndrome of not really feeling like I'm like qualified to be around a certain group of people or qualified to be in a certain situation. And so um, I have learned, it's so crazy how God like teaches us so many things through our business, through those little 4x4 squares that we post every single day. But it's like, I want to show up in the private just like how I show up in the public on my social media. And so if there's an area in your business or in your fitness journey that you are not showing up to or committing to, people can feel that in your stories. People can feel that, we're not showing up to our business like we did before the day before, right? And so if that means like posting a little boomerang of you working every single day to show people that you're consistent, hey, guess what? That's going to be extra accountability for you. And for me, honestly, yesterday was that day. It was gloomy and rainy, and I did not want to show up for my business. But I was like, you know what? Like, people have seen me post afternoon workflow for the past year and a half. Like, today's not going to be the day where I'm not going to post that, because I'm going to show up for my business. And so, what does that look like for you? The second thing that we are going to call it quits on is envy. Oh my goodness. We could talk about this for hours upon hours, right? Envy of, oh my gosh, I'm only a diamond coach. I've been in this business for 2 years, but I want to be a premier team. Or I am only, I've only hit blank in Success Club this month, and this girl always hits SC22, and I just don't know how she does it. You guys, like, it is so sad how envy can just ruin our business, because it ruins us from the inside out. And so my question to you is, do you weep over people's joy? And are you joyful whenever they're sad? Like, are you joyful whenever that girl that usually hits SC20 hit SC10 and you're above her? Like, do you do that? Because that's going to crush your business, because it's crushing your mind, and you're not in your lane. And so I want you to think about, like, how are we treating each other in this space? And one thing I love about this company, and what I love about every single coach that I know, is that we are not here to one up each other. We're here to share resources. We are here to give and give and give and give. And that's the coolest thing, is that we're learning that so that we can provide that to our people. So with envy, I believe that the limiting belief that we have whenever we are envious in our business is that we have a scarcity mindset about our success. And, with me, I was teaching for 2 years, and then this past year, I went into my principal's office and I sat down and I told him that I was going to be doing this life coaching, fitness coaching thing from home, and that, I didn't want to grow old and not do something different. And he kind of looked at me with a little smirk and he said, you know what? I hope that you're going to be successful, but, if that never works out, you have a space here again or whatever, which was so nice. But to me, I was like, no, like, this business is the only option for me. Like, I'm not going back to the place that literally made me just, like, my digestion suck, me having panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Like, heck no. And so I want you to think about, like, is there that limiting belief of having envy about other people's business compared to where you are? And then also having that scarcity mindset about your own success. And then the last thing that I think is so important for our business is knowing that, like, if we slander, which means like talk bad or like bash other people, or we like look at other people's stories and, you know, we are happy because we're farther along or whatever it is, however you might slander in your business, like we are joining the enemy in his work. Like God actually ordained you and like placed you in this role as a coach. All of us, like every single one of us has a place in this business, growing your own teams, growing your own challenge group. And whenever we slander, whenever we like get mad at our coaches because they're not working, or we get mad at our challengers because they're not showing up in their challenge group, like we've all been there. We've all had those frustrating feelings of, oh my gosh, like, am I failing? Like, and we get angry. So we put that anger on them. It's like joining that negative energy, and that drives our business down. Like it's going to keep driving us down a big hole. And so like one, like we're satisfied in Christ, and whenever we slander, whenever we talk bad, it cancels out all of those things that we knew whenever we press that submit button the first day of coaching. So the limiting belief here is that you feel like you have to slander or belittle others to feel strong. And honestly, positivity is the best thing. So whenever you see people get recognized on Beatnik or on your own team page, like intentionally recognize those people. Like don't just like the picture, like comment and like intentionally do that, because that's going to change your mindset every single time. Because as women, I know like we are all in it for like, we just want to be known, we want to be recognized, and we want to be loved. And so I feel like all of these three topics are huge on helping us become a more united team or dragging us down, right? So here's the truth that we know from all of these things, because like I said, this is kind of a more weighty talk. We need to be the creative minority in the exile. And what I mean by that is like, be the creative minority, be the positive, happy person after someone says no to you 12 times in a row. Like, be that person that shows up every single day, every single month, follows up with people. Everyone's not going to love what we do. Everyone's not going to love what we provide. But our job is to be bold and strong and courageous. Number 2 is that boldness, you guys, boldness is greater than bigness. So like being bold one time in a day is better than being super big and lavish 10 times in a day. And so I want you to think about that. Like, I know that Morgan dreamed and prayed for a team that was going to be bold. And that's what I want for my team. Like, I don't want my team to be huge unless we're going to be bold every single day. And that's your job, is to be bold, to be the person that you know you're supposed to be the coach you know you're supposed to be, and do it in a bold way. And what I mean by that is to walk in it humbly, which comes to number 3. Like, being bold doesn't mean we have to be like outlandish and like just bragging, but we need to be humble. So being humble is greater than being hype, right? So being humble and sharing where you are in this season. Like, if you feel like you're struggling right now in your own journey, share that. Share that, but also share how you are transitioning and changing because of the personal development that you're listening to and reading. I think the biggest thing that can hinder us in our business is to not be open and honest about where we are. Whenever I was teaching, I had a public account. Some of the parents found me on Instagram, and you know what? I was like, for sure, whatever. It doesn't matter. But in my years of teaching last year, I posted pictures of me on Instagram on my feed that I was like struggling with anxiety that day. And I'm sitting down on the kitchen floor with my hands in my head, knowing that this isn't long term, but like this is the season where I'm at. And so you're going to be able to connect with your people if you are true to yourself by being bold, but also being humble. And so you're going to be strong. You're going to be courageous by doing those things. And here's the funny thing. I feel like this is, whenever I read this in her book, you guys, I was like, I am literally going to say this to every single person that says they can't be a good coach. Like, here's the deal. If we worked on our own strength, we would have never had a kid. We would have never gotten married or go into ministry or drive a car or write a book or go on a mission trip or, love on our family member that's really hard to love on. Like, if we worked on our own strength, we probably all wouldn't have gone to school or gone to college or whatever your story is. And that's the beauty of it, is that whenever you talk to people that are interested in coaching and they're like, man, they have those limiting beliefs and they're like, I can't do it. Or maybe that's how you are right now. Like, look at all of these things. Like, we aren't working on our own strength ever. We are never working on our own strength. It is a path that we're taking. And all you're doing, sister, is you are being brave and you're being strong and you're being courageous. And that is the only thing that matters, because we can't do any of these things on our own strength. So as collectively, as I talk and I pray and I think about my team and where we're at and where I think about, all of you guys and where your business is. Here's the sad part, is that we could be missing it. And what I mean by that is, like, we're missing our chance to be the person we're meant to be because we're caught up in our own lives and we're caught up in the fear that we're doing it wrong or that we're being judged by others. Like, I'm not a mom yet, but the last thing that I would want my kids to do in life is to miss out because they were worried about what Jane was thinking of them, or what Susie was thinking of them, or what their daddy or their mommy was thinking of them. Like, we can't miss out on life. We have one chance, literally one. And that's what I told my principal whenever I sat down with him. I was like, you know what, dude? I don't know if this is going to be successful, but here we go. And like, I'm resigning from teaching and we're just going to do this. Let's do it. And like, that's what I want for you guys. Like, you don't have to want to quit your job to be a successful coach, but I don't want you to miss your chance to become the person that you are meant to be because you're too caught up in other people's lives and other people's judgment of you. And so I hope that, with this, you can go into tomorrow, go into your power hour knowing that you are showing up because you are called to do this, and that you're showing up because you don't want to get caught up in other people's lives or other people's opinions of who you are, because that right there is going to hinder you from the success that you're wanting. And lastly, we can hope in this. We can hope in the fact that, yes, God has placed us here, or whatever you believe in. You have been placed here for a reason, and you have been called to be an ambassador, like an ambassador of this company in a way that connects with you. So like for me, I'm an ambassador of Beachbody because I want to help those tired teachers who are struggling with anxiety, who walk down the halls of their freaking school smiling, pretending that they're okay. Like, that's who I'm showing up for. I'm showing up to be an ambassador for that kind of person. So whatever it looks like, even with other people judging you, because there will be people, even your friends, that judge you. You are not making a mistake to be here, and you have been placed here. So my question is, why are you so scared to not give in to what you are called to do? Like, what is that thing that is holding you back? So let's find hope in this. Like, let's find hope and joy in the fact that we are called to be ambassadors, right? Like, that gives me so much more purpose in my power hour. That gives me so much more purpose in talking on my stories every single day and posting that I'm doing my me time and I'm doing my focused hour and I'm doing all of those things. Like, I'm doing it because I want to show the other Abbies of the world that they can do this too, even if they've told me no 20 bajillion times that they don't want to be a coach or don't want to be in my challenge group. So here's the thing, like, you can hear this, right? You can hear this encouragement. You can hear, wow, like, let's be the creative minority, whatever that means to you. But the biggest impact that you can make is actually taking action today. Like, if you haven't done your power hour and you've been showing up on social media and being like, ooh, I'm a coach, la, 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 like, girl, do your power hour before you go to bed tonight. Or tomorrow, like, don't show up unless you have a freaking plan about who you are going to be, because you are an ambassador of your own business. You are an ambassador of who you believe in, if that's God, whoever it is. Like, let's show up as ambassadors, as business owners, and let's be the creative minority, not the scammy, salesy people, but the people that are there to help and encourage those people that were like us before we press that submit button on our coach form, right? That's all I have.
Oh my gosh. Round of friggin' applause, Abby. So good. That was so good. Can you, I wrote the name of the book down, but is it Girl for the Job?
Yes, Girl
Okay.
for the Job. It just released a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. I just want to make sure we have the wording right, so I'll be able to share that with everyone. But that was so good. Does anyone, if anyone has any questions specifically, I know it's like, let's not spend more than 5 minutes here, but drop them in the chat if you guys have any questions. That was seriously so incredible. Like, just hearing your story, I think, is so helpful for so many coaches on here, because you're so relatable. And that's why I say, like, I love following you and seeing it, because you are so transparent. And I remember that picture, you in your kitchen, like up against the cabinets, like with your hands up, that you're talking about. So it's just, I'm so thankful for you and what you've done with this business. It's amazing. So if anybody has any questions for Abby specifically, I know really we just need to go get to work, like she said. So
Truth.
true. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you
thank
guys
you
so
so
much.
much for getting on. Let's stop recording.